I'm Zef from T21 and welcome to Adventure Ride Chat, the place where all bikes are adventure and where the chat starts here with me and continues with all of us down in that comment area. And if you are new to the segment of T21, please do consider subscribing. Over my many years working and modifying dual sport bikes, I found that there's a few topics that are always up to date. Lights is definitely one of them. And although there's a world when it comes to lights, there's three main things that not a lot of people pay attention to, at least as far as my experience goes. I would obviously love to know your opinion down below. But those three things are fairly easy, at least, to give you a ground and a base start. So first, road legality. Not all lights, including driving lights, are road legal. So pay attention to the rules of your country or to the rules of the communities where you do live, because not all lights are road legal. Some of them, they need a little switch on and off, and that alone will make them road legal. Some will never be legal on the road. But pay attention to that just to make sure that you're not going to blind anyone on the road and you're not going to get your bike apprehended or get a fine depending on the laws of your country. The second thing is there's many different kinds of lights. There's spotlights, floodlights, fog lights, and driving lights. Obviously, driving lights depend if you're driving on a right-hand or a left-hand driving country. The lights have a slightly different pattern that will change depending on the side of the road you are driving on. As for the other ones, well, the spotlights will go very down the road, but not very wide. They have a very shallow angle when it comes to their light disperse. So, for instance, if you're racing in a desert or you're doing kinds of roads that are mainly straights or aim always very into the background, a spotlight's gonna be perfect for you. That's what I use on my bike. But if you're driving mainly on, let's say, mountain roads, a lot of twisties, you don't need something that's going to illuminate 300 meters in front of you. You need something that's going to do 10, 15, 20 meters, but it's going to be extremely wide, so you can actually see where the corner starts and ends. So what you're going to need is definitely a floodlight. It's going to illuminate a lot around you, but not very further away. And obviously you also have fog lights that they're going to be mainly focused on the ground, not very dispersed as a floodlight is, not very focused as a spotlight is, but it's a nice middle way. There's also different colors, but that I don't master very well. I don't feel confident talking about that, but I would love your opinion. I know that South Africa, they'll use a lot of yellow lights, and I would love if any of you drives with those kind of lights. Please let me know down below why and what's the benefits of that, because I would love to know more about that, but all of my research has not come up with a definitive answer. Obviously, the third thing that lights, you need to concern yourself about is where you plug them into your bike. Make sure that the stator is enough to hold all that power, that extra power that the lights are gonna draw, and make sure that you plug them in the right place on the bike. And I don't mean plug them in on the back if you wanna see in the front, that's not what I mean. But I've seen time and time again clients coming into our shop with, completely burned electrical systems because they bought extra lights and they plugged them in to the blinkers. That little wiring just burned, and as it did, it burned the rest of the wiring. So make sure that your bike either has a specific output or specific wiring for lights, or that you can split another, powerful enough wiring system that's not going to damage your bike, but it's going to allow you to draw more power for lights. The blinkers, they're not a good idea. Of course, I would love to know down below if you rock any kind of specific off-road or high-intensity lights, why you chose those specific ones and what use do you give them. And as far as we're concerned, if you're not yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Hit that big thumbs up, that subscription bell so you can get all the notifications. And of course, next Saturday, we're gonna be right here again talking about something completely different.